Hi guys, and welcome back to Hilltop Farm, and welcome to this episode in the Papillon Diaries. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be bringing the puppies in front of the camera one by one, and talking to you a little about each one and the Papillon breed in general. But before I start, I will just let you know that obviously some of you watching this are future owners of these puppies, but the majority of you are just keen fans that love watching our dogs. And although this video means that this litter is about to go to its new homes, you don't have to wait long before the next series of the Papillon Diaries resumes, because you'll be pleased to know Pippa is pregnant with her 5th litter, and she is due of all days on the 26th of December. Bearing in mind that she usually goes 2 days early, means she'll probably be giving birth the evening and early morning, being Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But still, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So she is due then, and Gracie, who is who's Pippa's granddaughter and Rolly's niece, she is pregnant with her 1st litter, and she is due on the 2nd of January. She's only just pregnant, well, they both are really, but I worked out last night, I think, that Grace is like, compare it to a human pregnancy, she's the equivalent to about 10 weeks. And this morning she's not been right for a few days. She's known something's going on. She's been a bit clingy, but this morning she's had morning sickness for the first time, so not a very happy camper today. Whereas Pippa is in her element, because Pippa loves being pregnant and she loves babies. So she's an old hand, so she knows exactly what's going on, and she's laying reclined on the lounge like the Queen of Sheba, just waiting for the imminent day to come. So those of you, as I say, that are fans of the channel, look out for just after Christmas, the Papillon Diaries will start up again. And any of you out there that are interested in having a puppy, email us in our email down below, and I'll put it in the description. And yeah, if you live in Australia, then we'll be able to sort something out, I've no doubt. From being a fan of the channel, we might be able to jump you up our waiting list, but we'll see. Okay, so getting down to business, we'll have to introduce the first of the puppies. Okay, and first we have what used to be puppy number 1, and who's now called Luna, and she's a little puppet, aren't you? Now, Luna is the smallest one, not by a lot, they're all very pretty even, but she's the smallest one of the group, but she's the one with the most attitude, aren't you? Give your mum a hard time. Yes you do, yes you do. And this little girl will be going to a family just outside of Brisbane in Queensland, and I know there is a young man that's eagerly awaiting your arrival. I do. And I hear that we have to be careful of the grandparents in this situation, because there's a threat that the grandparents are going to steal you Yes, there is. Yes. Now, she is a tricolour. You can see when they're born black and white, no other colour. Tricolours develop, I don't know if you can see it, the tan on their cheeks and on their eyebrows, and it spreads, becomes more prominent as they get older. They're also born with their ears down. Originally this breed were actually called miniature spaniels, and they were bred for hunting in France. And you see what I mean, she's into everything, aren't you? They were bred for hunting in France, and the French royal family took a shine to them, and there's quite a few portraits of French royalty and aristocracy where they have the Papillon dog in the painting. There is a famous painting of Marie Antoinette with a Papillon at her feet. But if you look at those paintings, you'll notice that all the Papillons have their ears down like a spaniel, like this. Where's your spaniel look? No, she's annoyed because I won't let her run across the table, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And so that's what the original Papillon were like. They then, it became fashionable for the ears to be up, and it became more popular. But to this day, in virtually all Papillon lines, there occasionally has one born where the ears stay down. Now, we've not had this. We've had them where they're late developing and the ears stay down till they're a few months old. This one's pretty late. But having said that, Rolly, her dad, and Alfie, her grandfather, their ears stayed down for a long time. In fact, Alfie's were down till he was about 4.5 months old. Rolly's were down till he was about 3. So this little girl, only being 2 months old, it's not necessarily a sign of things to come. But anyway, there she is, cute as a button, full of mischief, and ready for her plane flight across Australia, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. Now, say goodbye. Say goodbye, and we'll get your brother. And here we have puppy number 2, who is Louie. Now, as you can see, Louie's ears, if I shake him, they still flop a bit, but they are basically up. You see that? You see the difference between that and his sister? Right, again, he's got the tan coming above the eyes either side of his head, and he's much more reserved than his sister, and he's got a different kind of coat. Hers is going to be lighter and silkier. This little fella's going to be plush. Thick and plush, aren't you? Now, this little fella is going to a lovely lady over in Perth. She's actually had one of our puppies once before, about 2.5 years ago. Rolly, who's the father of this litter, Rolly is a brother, a full brother to the puppy that this lady in Perth has already got. So you're going to go and live with your uncle, aren't you? And you're going to be a good boy, aren't you? You're going to be a good boy, are you? That's claw cord. I know. You're a cheeky boy, aren't you? This one's a a cuddle pot. He likes lots of fuss and attention, don't you? He's the first to come running. If anything happens, he wants to go to a human for reassurance, don't you? You should too, because you're a good boy. Like at the moment, he's been put up on a table, so he's not sure if he's done something wrong or not. So he's just going to be all submissive and sit here, aren't you? Eh? And yawn nervously, aren't you? Yes, you're a good boy. You are a good boy. Yes, you are. And what's interesting is, although his uncle, where he's going to go and live, is a different colour to him, he's actually a red sable and white. They're actually very similar puppies. They've got the same coat. They've got the same sort of look about them, the same conformation. So I think when this one grows up, they're actually going to make quite a pretty pair trotting around together. Yes, aren't you? That's if she can manage to train him with him being so savage, as you can see. There's always a risk that you might lose a limb with this one, isn't there? Okay, you say goodbye. So I'll see you in about a week's time. Say bye. Hello. Okay, and here, puppy number 3. This is Belle. Now again with the ears, Belle's actually interesting because Belle's at the moment halfway between those other two, where she's got this one up and this one at half mast. Depending on her mood, it could be up or down, this one. But that's perfectly normal. They never go up at the same time. There's always one then the other. And quite often, their ears will be up for many weeks and you'll suddenly come in and find one of their ears is down. But it seems to coincide with them teething. A bit like when babies get those bright red cheeks. Just a symptom of teething. This is the same kind of idea, isn't it? Hey, you beautiful girl. Now, Belle's another cuddle pot. She loves just to be cuddled and petted. Again, a plushy coat, well, not as plushy as her brother, but halfway between the plushy and the silky. So she could have a bit of both. Now she actually, and it's really hard to see with the camera, I've noticed this in the past when I've filmed, I don't know if you can see her face, but there's actually a lot more tan on her than it shows up on camera. But she's actually, this one's got more, this one and the next one have got more tan on them than the first two. And she also, the thing that always amazes me about this puppy is she's got the same eyes as Pippa, as her grandmother. Pippa has this way of looking at you out of the corner of her eye as if to say, you know, what are you doing? What are you up to? And this one does the same, don't you? Right? You're precious. Yes, you are. You're just precious. Yeah. Now, Belle is going to, it's actually the first one leaving us. She's going to Queensland as well. She's going to live on the Sunshine Coast, on the Gold Coast. And from what I can make out, I'm fairly certain you have a friend up there that's a Yorkshire Terrier. which we used to breed Yorkshire Terriers. So you're going to go up there and create havoc for that poor Yorkshire Terrier, aren't you? Hey, she won't know what hit her. No, she won't. You'll be quiet for a few days, and then once you settle in, you'll rule the roost. Won't you? Hmm? Yes, you will. Okay, so this is Belle. Say goodbye and say we'll see you very soon. Say bye. You. Okay, and last but not least, puppy number 4, or Jasper. Hey, you Jasper? Are you? Okay, Jasper again. His ears are down. And again, sometimes I've noticed one of them up. But I don't know if you can see, but he's got the much more of the red or tan coming on his face. I say he and Belle are the ones that are the paler in that department. He's got the thick plushy coat. He's probably going to have the thickest coat of the lot, which, considering that this little fella is going to the north coast of Tasmania, aren't you? He's probably going to need that coat. So it's probably a good thing. Now, Jasper is going to go and live with a couple of guys, as I say, live on the north coast of Tasmania. They already have a Papillon who's black and white. And I think they've got chickens and all sorts of other animals as well. So you are going to have plenty to occupy yourself, aren't you? And I think, my memory serves me correctly, I think the guys that are taking him have been waiting the longest. I think almost since the beginning of the pregnancy they've been sort of on the list and in contact with me, waiting for this little guy. So I think he's going to be very welcome when he arrives, aren't you? Hey? You're going to be very... I think you're going to be very loved. Hey? Yes you are. Yes you are. Now, as I say, they're all lovely temperaments, they really are. And they all love attention and cuddles. And as you can tell by watching this video, puppy number 1 is definitely the naughty one out of the group. And as I say, there is a young man eagerly awaiting her arrival in Brisbane. And she is probably the best one to go to a house that has a child, because, as I say, she's full of so much energy herself. And the others are going to adult households. So they'll appreciate the more subdued and the cuddles and the licking of the chin, like this one. Yes, Jasper. Yes, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Okay. So, that's pretty much... You got your claw cord. That's pretty much it. As I say, make sure you tune in the future to watch the progress of Pippa and Gracie's litters when they come along. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on those next series of the Papillon Diaries. And until next time, it's goodbye from Jasper and me, and it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya!